So this video is about the rage in the news, which is the semiconductor, or rather um, the room temperature superconductor, which has been found in the Korean University by Mr. Young Van Kwon, and everyone in the world is raging about it for the past 7 days that this has been found, and if this is actually real, then it changes the very course of humanity itself. And of course, people are even saying that it is like some sort of an alien technology, and uh, superconductor at room temperature is technically impossible. And I've been able to go through their research paper and the published paper which they have, and their videos on the website, and to me it feels as complete bullshit. So basically what they are saying is that and they have even, they have been able to garner media attention, and I think that is what their sole aim has been. But I believe such a distinguished and established university, which is like the head of superconducting materials, and Korea being such an advanced state, which they have given us televisions and such advanced technologies, they have magnetic levitation trains as well, that they would not be down to such things. But indeed they have been. And so a superconductor, basically a room temperature superconductor, is adhering to the laws of conservation of energy. That is, energy in and energy out is totally equal. That is, no entropy, zero thermodynamics applied on it. And that means basically endless amounts of energy. You can have a wire infinitely long without zero wastage of energy. You can have hoverboard. Uh, you can have free flow of energy. Basically, you're not wasting any energy at all. And this basically, it could have changed the very course of humanity, and that is why everyone is raging about it. And for someone to claim that they have a room temperature superconductor, he is beyond God itself, right? Because he has been able to fight entropy. So this itself, in all the millions of years humanity has existed, it has never been possible. And I mean, there have been so many alchemists since the times of Christ, since the times of uh, Ram, since the times of Allah, and uh, we have so many empires, Roman empires, and anyone could have come up with alchemy with the proposed research which they have shown. So in their research paper, they have basically shown the common materials like lead oxide and lead sulfate. They just, both of them, they are heating at 725 degrees Celsius, which is a very achievable temperature. In the kitchen also we can achieve it, and that we have to keep for 24 hours. And then what we get is a product called lanarkite. So that lanarkite is, we will use some copper phosphide in the vacuum, and the lanarkite with the copper phosphide, we will be mixing them up in a vacuum. And when we mix them up in a vacuum, we have our wow Viola LK99, which is the craze of the town. And if this is such a simple recipe, I believe anyone in the world could have made it. And it's been 7 days, and it's maximum we need 48 hours at least, or minimum we need 24 hours for this recipe, or 48 hours max. So I mean, anyone could have recreated it. So it's been 7 days. I have not been able to see any theory that says yes, we have been able to, but rather on the contrary, I have seen so many people who are debunking it. So basically, on their video on the website which they have shown, right, it is basically, they have shown that it's in a copper plate, and the copper plate is moving, and that is what proves that it's a room temperature superconductor, which is again complete bullshit. Why? Because you see, the Lenz's law is there. Why is it moving? It's moving on a copper plate because of the Lenz law. We know from our basic school education that Lenz law is the one in which, if you put any magnetic material, it will react with, because of the conditions of the Lenz law. And that is what is happening on their website's main core video. And using that video, they are saying to the world that yes, we have found a superconductor, room temperature superconductor. Then I believe It is the very ethics of the Korean department of materials is it has faltered. So this is what the University of Maryland is saying, which is based out of US. It says that if this Korean room temperature superconductor paper was an undergraduate project in Maryland, then they would have given it an F, right? Basically a failing grade, right? So in the paper, they have said that the first train sentence throughout the paper is showing that the author knows very little or nothing about superconducting, right? I mean, if this is real, uh, which is firstly very tough to create, all right, it is going to take huge amounts, billions and billions and trillions of dollars for something like this to exist. Um, and then also, it is going to be an extreme scientific precision that will be allowing us to reach towards superconductivity of at room temperature. I mean, this will be like an Oppenheimer movement, and even if this technology is there, it'll have to be an alien technology, because basically what you're saying is that your cars will run without any energy. We will not need to dig up any coal. We will not need to even have any solar panels. We will have infinite boundless energy. We might not even need to eat food, or rather we might eat food, but it will be grown by free energy, right? Because if energy is free, we can have endless amounts of solar, endless amounts of energy to grow plants and to have cattle and to do and boundless growth of the civilization. So basically, this means a free world in all terms altogether. That is, um, you can have hoverboards, you can have planes which are running 24 hours because fuel is free now, fuel is endless, and fuel is boundless, right? So this is not adhering to the physical laws of the Lenz law itself. So this is basically a scam, like a free energy scam has always been there on YouTube. This is now being orchestrated by a large university at scale. That is what it is. I am definitely open to change my perspective and views if there is some solid recreation of this proposed experiment in a open and a visible environment. I mean, if it is it's so simple at 725 degrees Celsius, we're creating things like LK99. Well, then anyone should have been able to be created by now. I mean, we're not falling short in terms of funding, in terms of people who are wanting to act. And I mean, from apart from the Korean university, some other universities will definitely also be able to try it in the next weeks. And what the hell, even we can try it. It's like in the kitchen we can try it. So we just have to source lead oxide, we have to source lead sulfate, which will convert into lanarkite. And the third and the final thing we need is copper phosphide. Vacuum we can also create with a balloon and some sort of like that, right? So anyone at home can do. And this is what they're basically saying, that you have now boundless free energy at your homes. Everyone has it. So this is what the Korean university is saying, and I think that is misleading to their students, to their patrons, and to their um, community at large itself, or whoever is under the influence of Korean university.